Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare states $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, you're going to discover something truly fascinating and thrilling from the world of United States coinage. We're diving deep into a coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye, but to a passionate coin collector, it's a beautiful hidden gem that could carry immense value and meaning. I'm talking about the 2013 Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial Quarter. Now don't scroll away or skip a single second, because what I'm about to share could change the way you look at every single quarter in your pocket. You see, this coin is not just a piece of metal, it holds a connection to an incredible part of American history, and some rare versions of it are being hunted by collectors all over the country. If you're a collector, a treasure hunter, or someone who simply loves stories wrapped in silver and copper, you'll want to stick with me until the end of this video. Let's begin with what this coin is all about. Minted in 2013, the Perry's Victory Quarter was released as part of the America the Beautiful series, a beautifully designed collection honoring significant sites across the United States. This particular coin commemorates the Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial in Ohio, which honors Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry's heroic naval victory during the War of 1812 and celebrates the enduring peace between the United States, Britain, and Canada. Just think about that, a coin that marks both a fierce battle and a lasting peace. Now imagine carrying a reminder of American resilience and peace right in your pocket. The reverse of this coin features the image of the statue of Perry with the memorial monument rising proudly behind him. It's a bold, dignified image, not just a coin, but a tiny piece of art, a miniature monument in metal. And the best part is, certain versions of this coin are extremely rare, and can be worth much more than face value to collectors who know what to look for. Let's talk about what makes these coins so valuable. You see, most coins get circulated and worn down. But in the case of the 2013 Perry's Victory Quarter, there are certain special versions that never made it into general circulation, or were struck with unusual errors that make them incredibly desirable to collectors. That's when things get exciting, because it means that a quarter you find in pocket change, in a coin jar, or from an old roll could turn out to be a hidden treasure. One of the most highly sought-after versions is the San Francisco Mint Uncirculated Edition. These coins were not released into circulation, they were made especially for collectors, which means they're often in pristine condition. If you ever come across a Perry's Victory Quarter with an S Mint mark, that's your signal to pay close attention. Coins with this mark, especially in perfect or near-perfect condition, can demand significant premiums among collectors, and that's just the beginning. Some of the most valuable and rare Perry's Victory Quarters are the ones with mint errors. Now here's where the thrill of the hunt gets real. Errors can come in many forms: double dies, off-center strikes, die chips, or misalignments that make the coin look slightly off or unusual. But to a collector, these aren't flaws, they're opportunities. Because minting errors mean fewer coins were made that way, and the fewer there are, the more valuable they become. Imagine finding a 2013 Perry's Victory Quarter with a visible doubling in the design, maybe in the lettering or the statue. Or perhaps a coin with an extra die chip that looks like a strange blob or mark on the coin's surface. These kinds of features can dramatically increase the coin's value, turning a 25-cent piece into a collector's prize, and let me tell you, collectors are always searching. The market for error coins has been growing rapidly, and coins like these are at the center of that surge in demand. So if you're someone who enjoys the thrill of searching through coins, or even just loves history, the Perry's Victory Quarter is one you absolutely need to be looking for. Now let's talk a little bit about tips for collectors, because if you're just starting out or you've been hunting coins for years, there's always more to learn, and the Perry's Victory Quarter offers a lot of lessons in rarity, quality, and value. First and foremost, condition matters. Coins that are in uncirculated or mint state condition always fetch higher prices. If you come across a shiny, crisp-looking Perry's Victory Quarter, set it aside right away. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the details of the design closely. Look at the words, the edges, the monument, and the statue. Tiny imperfections or unusual markings can reveal errors that are almost invisible to the naked eye, and that's exactly where the treasure lies. Also, pay close attention to the mint marks: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. As I mentioned earlier, those S mint coins are not found in general circulation. If you see one, you're looking at a collector-issued coin that could be worth far more than its face value. And here's a tip that every collector should keep in mind: always check coin rolls from banks or coin machines. That's where the real treasures are hiding. Many people don't even know what they're holding, and quarters from 2013 often slip by unnoticed. You could be the one who finds a rare error or mint state coin that everyone else missed. Collectors are driven by curiosity, passion, and the desire to own something truly unique. And the Perry's Victory Quarter ticks all the boxes. It's beautiful, it's historical, and it's surprisingly valuable, especially in its rare forms. Holding this coin connects you not just to American history, but to a community of collectors across the country who recognize and appreciate its value. So let's now get to the question everyone asks: how much is it actually worth? Now remember, regular circulated versions might only go for face value, but once you step into the world of mint errors, rare mint marks, or pristine condition coins, that's when the value begins to climb. A standard uncirculated version with an S mint mark can be worth up to $7 or more depending on its condition. And rare error coins can reach values as high as $50, $100, or even more if the error is dramatic and the coin is well preserved. For collectors, that's not just a profit, that's a piece of American history with value that grows every year. So keep your eyes open, check your change, search those coin rolls, and never underestimate the power of a single coin to surprise you. Top 2. This coin is going to open your eyes to the possibility hiding in plain sight. We're about to dive into the fascinating world of the United States Louisiana quarter from 2002, and trust me, this isn't just another state quarter. This one has some exciting secrets and surprises that every collector should know. Don't blink or scroll because every second of this story matters. This is the kind of coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but to those who know what to look for, it can become a hidden treasure. I'm going to walk you through what makes the Louisiana quarter special, what rare errors you need to be on the lookout for, and how these coins could be worth far more than their face value in the right condition or with the right flaw. And if you're a collector, especially one who's just getting started, this could be one of the best coins to kick off your journey. Let's take it back to the year 2002, a time when the state quarters program was capturing the attention of Americans from coast to coast. People were collecting, swapping, hunting for quarters with their home state or ones they visited during family vacations. It was a movement that brought coin collecting into living rooms across the country. And in that year, the U.S. Mint released the Louisiana quarter, one of the most beautiful, unique, and historically rich designs of the entire series. This coin celebrates the Louisiana Purchase, the massive land deal that doubled the size of the United States back in 1803. It features a depiction of the famous Louisiana Purchase territory with a trumpet and musical notes in honor of Louisiana's vibrant jazz heritage. Just take a second to appreciate that, a coin that combines American expansion, music, and history into one design. It's more than money, it's a story in your palm. Now what really gets collectors excited about this quarter isn't just the design, it's the potential value hidden in rare versions and error strikes. Because while millions of these coins were minted, only a tiny fraction contain the kind of mistakes or unique details that skyrocket their worth and make them highly desirable in the numismatic world. Let's talk about some of these rare errors that you absolutely need to know about. One of the most famous error types in Louisiana quarters is the double die. This happens when the die that strikes the coin is slightly misaligned, creating a doubled image in the design. If you ever see two sets of musical notes or a slightly shadowed set of letters, you might be looking at a double die error, and that's where real value starts to grow. Another thrilling error to watch for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly positioned during the minting process, and part of the design appears shifted or cut off. The more off-center it is, without losing the date, the more valuable it becomes to collectors who crave something rare and imperfectly perfect. And then there are die cracks and die chips. These tiny, raised bumps or lines on the coin's surface may look like minor flaws, but they're actually indicators of wear on the minting dies, which results in fewer coins with that same feature. When a Louisiana quarter shows a die chip near the trumpet or across the map outline, you found something that sets it apart from millions of others. Let's not forget the legendary missing clad layer error, an incredible type of minting mishap where the top or bottom layer of metal is missing, revealing a dark copper core. This type of error is not only visually striking, but extremely rare and highly sought after by serious collectors. Imagine finding a Louisiana quarter with that reddish-brown copper exposed. Your heart would skip a beat because that's a major find. Now here's where things get even more exciting for collectors, because while these errors are rare, they're not impossible to find. You don't need to spend a fortune to hunt them down, you just need patience, a sharp eye, and a good understanding of what to look for. That's the beauty of coin collecting. Treasures are out there, waiting to be discovered by someone just like you. And that brings me to some powerful tips for collectors who want to make the most out of the Louisiana quarter. First, always inspect your change carefully, especially older coins from the early 2000s when the state quarters program was still fresh. Many people have these coins sitting untouched in jars, drawers, or old piggy banks, completely unaware of their potential value. Use a simple magnifying glass to zoom in on the small details, especially around the musical notes, the trumpet, the words Louisiana Purchase, and the state outline. That's where doubling and die chips tend to show up the most. And remember, coins with errors are not always obvious, sometimes it's just a tiny difference that makes all the difference. Also, pay attention to the mint marks. Louisiana quarters were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, marked with A, P, or D below the date. While neither version is extremely rare in circulation, some collectors have noted that certain P-minted coins are more prone to doubling or other minor errors. So if you come across a Philadelphia Louisiana quarter in good condition, take a closer look. You might be holding a secret winner. Coin roll hunting is another excellent strategy. Go to your local bank, get some rolls of quarters, and search through them like a treasure hunter on a mission. Many collectors have found rare Louisiana quarters with errors hiding inside ordinary rolls. It just takes time, focus, and the excitement of the chase, and don't forget about condition, because even without errors, coins in mint state or uncirculated condition hold real value for collectors who want the cleanest, sharpest versions of each state quarter. If you find a Louisiana quarter that still shines like new, with no scratches or wear, it might already be worth more than you think. This coin has everything a collector could ask for: historical depth, cultural symbolism, stunning design, and just the right amount of mystery. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned numismatist, the Louisiana quarter can be a valuable addition to your collection, and in some cases, it could be a standout piece that makes your entire collection feel even more special. There's a kind of joy that only collectors understand, the moment when you find something rare, something overlooked, something that tells a story others missed. That's what the Louisiana quarter offers, a chance to connect with America's past and discover hidden value right under your fingertips. So now let's talk value. While regular circulated Louisiana quarters may only be worth face value, coins with visible errors, high-grade finishes, or missing clad layers can sell for significant amounts depending on the rarity and condition. A double die or off-center strike Louisiana quarter in great condition can be valued at $10 to $20 or even higher. And coins with major minting errors or missing layers have sold for as much as $100 or more depending on demand. Top 3. I want to show you one of those coins that most people overlook but serious collectors have been hunting for years, and if you're lucky enough to find the right one, it could be worth a whole lot more than 25 cents. We're talking about a coin that launched one of the most legendary U.S. coin series of modern times, the 1999 New Jersey State Quarter. Now listen closely and don't blink or miss a second, because this isn't just about any coin. This is about one of the first state quarters ever released in the United States Mint's iconic 50 state quarters program. This coin is historic, it's meaningful, and it carries some truly exciting secrets that many people don't even know exist. And if you're a collector or someone who just loves hunting for hidden gems, this video could open the door to something really valuable hiding in your own pocket change. Let's take you back for a moment. The year is 1999. The new millennium is around the corner, the Y2K craze is buzzing, and the US Mint decides to launch one of the most successful coin programs in American history. The 50-state quarters program kicks off with a bang, and one of the very first coins to be released is none other than the New Jersey quarter. And this isn't just a shiny little coin, it's a tribute to one of the most pivotal moments in the birth of American freedom. This coin features the famous scene of George Washington crossing the Delaware River, a powerful image that captures courage, strategy, and the will to fight for liberty. You've probably seen paintings of that moment in history books or museums, but here it is, immortalized on a piece of metal that millions of people carried in their pockets. That's more than money, that's living American history in the palm of your hand. Now, here's where things get really exciting. While millions of these coins were minted, there are some versions and rare errors that make a small number of these quarters truly stand out in the world of coin collecting. These are the ones that catch a collector's eye and could turn an ordinary day into an extraordinary find. I'm going to walk you through some of the most fascinating types of rarities and errors found on this coin, and if you ever come across one of these, trust me, you'll want to hang on tight to it. One of the most interesting types of errors on the 1999 New Jersey quarter is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly lined up during the minting process, and the design ends up being pushed or shifted toward one side. When this happens, especially if the date is still visible, the coin instantly becomes more desirable because it's different, it's uncommon, and it's uniquely flawed in a way that collectors absolutely love. Another error to look for is called the double die. That's when parts of the coin's image or text appear to be slightly doubled. Maybe you notice extra thickness in the letters, or you see a shadow effect around the words like Crossroads of the Revolution. These kinds of doubling errors happen during the stamping process when the die hits the coin more than once or isn't perfectly aligned. And when that happens, value starts to rise, but that's not all. Some collectors have reported finding die cracks or die chips on their 1999 New Jersey quarters. These small raised lines or bumps are the result of a worn-out die, and they show up as imperfections on the coin's surface, often along the edge of the river, the boats, or even around the figures. To most people, they may look like scratches or damage, but to a collector who knows what they're seeing, those little marks can make a coin worth holding onto. And if you really want to talk rare, let's talk about coins with missing clad layers. That's when part of the coin's outer metal layer fails to bond correctly during minting, exposing the reddish copper underneath. A quarter like that doesn't just look different, it is different. It's a factory-born rarity that turns heads and draws interest from collectors all over the country. Now here's the thing, even though millions of these New Jersey quarters were made, the number of coins with these types of errors or rare features is incredibly small. That's what makes them special. It's that scarcity that drives collectors wild, because finding one is like striking gold in a sea of silver. That feeling when you spot something just a little off, and realize it's not a mistake, it's a treasure. Let me share a few tips that can help you on your journey if you're serious about finding a valuable 1999 New Jersey quarter. First off, always pay attention to detail. The smallest things can make the biggest difference. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the words, the images, the borders. Look closely at Washington's figure, the oars, the ripples of the river. Anywhere you might spot a doubling, a chip, or a misalignment, make sure to check both sides of every coin you pick up, because sometimes the error is subtle. It could be a die rotation, where the reverse side doesn't line up perfectly with the front. Or maybe there's a weak strike that leaves parts of the design faded or barely visible. These are the things collectors chase, and the more you train your eye, the better you get at spotting them. Also, don't forget about mint marks. In 1999, the New Jersey quarters were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, so you'll find P and D marks below the image on the obverse. While neither is extremely rare by itself, condition plays a major role. If you find a coin that's still shiny, with no scratches, no dings, and full luster, it could be what collectors call a mint state example, and those coins are always in higher demand. Coin roll hunting is another great strategy. You'd be amazed how many people overlook older quarters, tossing them into jars or cashing them in without ever checking them. Get rolls from banks, search through change, and be patient. Sometimes the most valuable coin is the one hiding in plain sight among all the rest. What makes the New Jersey quarter so special isn't just the design or the year it was made, it's the fact that it started something big. It was part of a movement that brought new life into collecting for millions of people across America. It was one of the first 5 state quarters ever released, and that alone gives it a special place in the heart of collectors. Combine that history with possible errors or high-grade condition, and you've got yourself a coin worth chasing. This isn't just a piece of change, it's a symbol of American determination, legacy, and pride. Every collector knows the feeling of flipping through coins and hoping for that moment when something unusual appears. That one coin that makes you stop and say, "Wait, is this what I think it is?" And when it's a rare New Jersey quarter, with a flaw, a shine, or a detail that sets it apart, that moment is unforgettable. So now the question is, how much could a 1999 New Jersey quarter actually be worth if you find the right one? While most circulated versions are still worth face value, the ones with visible mint errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or missing clad layers can sell for anywhere between $20 and $100 or more depending on the rarity and condition. Top 4. We're diving into one of those coins that might just be sitting quietly in someone's change jar right now, hiding its real worth in plain sight. I'm talking about the 1999 United States-Pennsylvania State Quarter, and let me tell you, if you've got this coin or you're hunting for one, this video could be the start of something thrilling and possibly rewarding. Stay with me right till the end because I'm about to uncover everything that makes this coin rare, the errors that transform it into something truly valuable, and the tips every collector needs to know to make sure they don't miss a golden opportunity in the middle of silver. Change. If you're someone who enjoys coin roll hunting or simply loves history that you can hold in your hand, then you're in the right place today. Let's rewind back to 1999, the very beginning of the historic 50-state quarters program launched by the United States Mint. Pennsylvania's quarter was one of the very first 5 to be released, and because of that, it holds a special spot in the hearts of collectors everywhere. This isn't just a commemorative coin, it's a celebration of heritage, strength, and identity. The design on the reverse side of the coin shows the Statue of the Commonwealth, a classical figure of a woman holding a ribbon and a staff, standing tall in a pose of grace and strength. Beside her, you'll see the state outline and a keystone symbol. Pennsylvania is known as the Keystone State after all, and this quarter captures that pride beautifully. Every line, every detail in this design has meaning. It's not just about artistry, it's about legacy. But while millions of these coins were produced, only a tiny number have what collectors truly crave: rarity, mint errors, and unique imperfections that make them stand out from the rest. That's where the value starts to climb, and that's exactly why you should never overlook a 1999 Pennsylvania quarter. No matter how ordinary it may seem at first glance, some of the most talked about errors in these coins involve off-center strikes. These occur when the coin isn't aligned properly in the minting press and part of the design is shifted toward one side. The more off-center it is, while still keeping the date visible, the higher the value can climb for collectors looking for something unique and hard to find. There have also been reports of double die errors in the Pennsylvania quarter, and this is where it gets really exciting. These doubling effects can appear around the letters, the year, or the details of the statue itself. To someone just spending change, it might look like a blur or a trick of the light, but to an experienced collector, it can be a sign of a coin that's worth holding onto, protecting, and maybe even grading professionally. Die cracks and die chips are another type of error that's been spotted on this coin. These little raised lines or bumps happen when the die used to strike the coin begins to wear out or break down, and that results in extra metal being pushed out onto the coin's surface in unexpected places. Look closely near the staff or the keystone symbol. That's where some of these cracks tend to show up. The more visible and unusual, the more desirable they become to people who collect rare variations. Another major rarity is the missing clad layer error, a dramatic and stunning flaw where the outer nickel layer peels or fails to form correctly, exposing the inner copper core. If you've ever seen a Pennsylvania quarter that looks oddly copper-colored on one side or both, don't spend it. You might be holding a serious collectible in your hand, and here's something many collectors overlook: the strength of the strike itself. Some coins were produced with such weak pressure that certain details in the design didn't fully form. These are called weak strike coins and they can be quite rare, especially if you have one that looks noticeably faded in areas where others are sharp. That difference in detail can make all the difference in demand and value. Now let me share some simple but powerful tips for all you passionate coin collectors out there, especially those looking for these valuable Pennsylvania quarters. First and foremost, always check your change closely, especially coins from 1999. These older state quarters may seem common, but time has made the rarer ones more and more valuable each year. Use a magnifying glass or even a simple phone camera with zoom to look at the finer details. Focus on the statue's hands, the lettering, the keystone symbol, and any parts of the coin's rim. Look for things that don't match up with a regular strike, whether it's doubling, fading, or a chip that wasn't supposed to be there. Make sure to pay attention to mint marks as well. The 1999 Pennsylvania quarters were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, with P and D mint marks just below the date. Neither mint produced coins that were officially rare at the time, but condition plays a major role. If you find a coin that's shiny, crisp, and looks untouched by circulation, that's what we call mint state, and those coins are always in much higher demand. Coin roll hunting is another incredible way to find these treasures. Head over to your local bank and get rolls of quarters. You never know what someone might have unknowingly returned to circulation. People cash in old jars and boxes without ever checking for mint errors, and you could be the lucky one who finds something truly rare hiding inside. Collectors love a good story, and the Pennsylvania quarter has plenty to tell. It was part of the first wave of a national coin program that changed the way America viewed its money. And because it came out early in the series, more people saved them, but few knew to check for errors back then. That's what makes the rare error coins from this issue even more special today. When you find one of these coins, especially one with a striking error or in pristine uncirculated condition, you're not just holding a piece of metal, you're holding history, artistry, and value all at once. There's something truly magical about that moment, when a coin in your hand reveals a little secret that only a true collector would recognize. So now comes the golden question: how much is a 1999 Pennsylvania quarter actually worth if you've got a special one? While regular circulated examples are still worth their face value, the rare ones, the off-center strikes, the double dies, the missing clad layers, the die cracks, or the mint state versions, can be worth anywhere from $15 to over $100 depending on rarity, condition, and how dramatic the error is. Top 5, and last coin. We're about to take a close look at a coin that isn't just beautiful, it might be secretly valuable too. We're talking about the 2007 Montana State Quarter, and if you've never looked at it with a collector's eyes before, you're about to see it in a whole new light. So don't blink, and don't skip a second, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why this quarter could be worth far more than 25 cents, what rare errors and unusual details to watch out for, and why collectors are still chasing after it today. This isn't just another quarter in your drawer, it might just be a treasure waiting to be found. Let's first talk about the story behind the coin, because Montana's quarter is not just any design, it's bold and it's striking and it tells you something about the spirit of the state. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the powerful image of a skull, not just any skull, but that of a bison, mounted above the sweeping landscape of the Montana wilderness. Below it are the words, "Big Sky Country," and that phrase alone carries such a wild and open feeling that you can almost hear the wind rushing through the plains when you look at this coin. Released in 2007 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, the Montana Quarter captures the untamed beauty and rugged history of one of America's most naturally rich states. And just like the land it honors, this coin is filled with hidden value for those who know where to look. Now here's the real thrill: even though millions of these coins were produced, there are only a few that stand out in the world of coin collectors. These are the quarters that have something different, something rare, something so unique that they rise above the rest. And the best part is, these rare versions of the Montana quarter are still being found by sharp-eyed collectors today. One of the most desirable kinds of rare Montana quarters are those with off-center strikes. This type of minting error happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during production and part of the design gets shifted to one side. Sometimes just a small part of the image is cut off, and other times it's dramatically off-center with missing portions. When the date is still clearly visible, that kind of coin becomes a collector's dream. Another type of error that really gets people excited is the double die. This happens when the die that stamps the coin hits it twice or slightly out of alignment, and the result is a slight doubling of the letters or details in the image. On the Montana quarter, you'd want to look carefully at the phrase, "Big Sky Country," or the fine lines in the bison skull, because any signs of doubling can turn this quarter into something truly valuable. And then we've got the die chips, small raised bumps or blobs that show up in areas where the die used to strike the coin begins to crack or break. Some collectors have found Montana quarters with die chips near the horns or the snout of the bison skull, or even around the edges of the letters. While they might look like tiny flaws, these features make the coin unique, and in the world of collecting, unique is everything. Don't forget about another extremely rare but stunning error, the missing clad layer. When the top or bottom nickel layer doesn't bond properly during the minting process, the reddish copper core of the coin becomes exposed. These errors are easy to spot if you know what to look for, and if you ever come across a Montana quarter that looks a little too coppery on one side, don't let it go. You might be holding a real treasure in your palm. Now here's where it gets really personal, because anyone can find a Montana quarter, but not everyone knows what to look for. That's why collectors who do their homework have the best chance of discovering something special. So if you're a collector, or you want to become one, here are some simple but powerful tips to help you catch that rare Montana quarter when it crosses your path. First, always carry a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe with you, or even just use your phone camera and zoom in. Look closely at every letter, every ridge, every curve of the design. Pay extra attention to the horns on the skull, the shape of the state, and the words beneath it. That's where doubling and tiny die cracks often appear. Next, know your mint marks. Montana quarters were made in both Philadelphia and Denver, and you'll see a P or a D just under the word Liberty on the obverse side of the coin. While neither mint mark is especially rare on its own, the condition of the coin and any possible errors can make all the difference in value. A Denver Mint Montana quarter with a strong strike and nowhere can easily rise in worth if it also has a known error type. One of the smartest things a collector can do is roll hunt. That means going to your local bank and asking for rolls of quarters, sometimes even hundreds of them, and going through them coin by coin. It's not as crazy as it sounds. Many rare coins have been found in regular bank rolls because most people never bother to look. You could be the one to find a rare off-center strike or a beautiful die chip just sitting quietly inside a roll. Don't underestimate the value of condition either. Even if you don't find an error, a Montana quarter in brilliant uncirculated condition can be worth collecting. If it still has full luster, sharp details, and no scratches or nicks, it's worth keeping, because the cleaner it is, the more collectors will want it down the road. What makes the Montana quarter truly fascinating isn't just the design or the production year, it's the combination of beauty, strength, and hidden rarity that lives inside it. There's a feeling of wilderness, mystery, and freedom that comes through in this coin, and every collector knows the feeling of holding something that feels like more than just money. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned coin hunter, the Montana quarter offers something to chase, something to treasure, and something to remind us why we fell in love with collecting in the first place. Every time you pick up a new coin and inspect it, that little burst of curiosity, that rush, is what keeps collectors searching for years. And finally, the part you've been waiting for: how much is this coin actually worth? Well, if you've got a regular circulated Montana quarter with no errors, it might just be worth 25 cents today, but if you have one with an off-center strike, a double die, a missing clad layer, or a major die chip in good condition, that coin could be worth anywhere from $10 to $100 or even more depending on how rare and dramatic the error is. So the next time you hold a Montana quarter, don't just toss it in your pocket. Take a moment, look closely, and think about the journey it's been on and the secret it might be hiding. That coin could be more than change, it could be a treasure waiting to be discovered by someone who sees what others don't.